Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. We invite you to join our community below by subscribing for our daily content, and you can become a patron to help us curate this great history of the rock and roll era. Now, lately we've been covering songs that went to number 2 on the Billboard charts, and today we have a feature on the magnetic 80s power ballad, Heaven, from multi-platinum band Warrant, with co-founding member and guitarist Erik Turner and lead guitarist Joey Allan. Now, the song went to number 2 in the fall of 1989. It was kept out of the number 1 spot by Milli Vanilli's Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You. You know, I remember as a kid just trying to will this song to number 1. I was rooting for it every week. I always loved Warrant. The band members also talk about lead singer and songwriter, the late Janie Lane. Here is Erik and Joey with the story. Well, I want to ask you about Heaven, because that, in my opinion, is one of the best power ballads ever. A great record. When I first heard Warrant, I love the fact that you feel like a badass. You're listening to Down Boys. As a kid, when you got a crush on some girl at school, you've got Heaven. How I love the way you move. So you've got 2 songs to go to. But I just loved how Warrant really could really balance that so well. But Heaven, number 2.
Number 2 on Billboard, but it went number 1.
Yeah,
on Rolling Stone charts and R&R.
Yeah, rock.
The
rock charts.
the Bible of the industry. It went number 1 on there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Also. But honestly, Billboard's what really counts, and we didn't.
I just
number 2
I
for
remember
another miss.
I remember listening like both weekends. It's like Milli Vanilli, come on.
Well, Heaven is a song that went through an evolution. Janie first wrote that song when he was in a band with Steven called Plain Jane.
Plain Jane.
And they did it like a kind of a mid-tempo rock.
It was actually even a higher
chunky thing.
Key.
Yeah.
And then we brought it, when he brought it to Warrant, we changed it, we rearranged it a little bit. It was still pretty rocking. Yeah. And then when we went in to record the record, that's when it turned into a ballad, but it almost didn't turn into anything. Our producer, Bo Hill at the time.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want, he was really in love with Sometimes She Cries, which is a great song. I don't blame him. And he felt like having 2 ballads on there was too much, and the song Heaven wasn't coming together real easily, I guess, from his point of view. And so he took us in, I think, into the main room, and we sat around a piano. And he's like, guys, we're not going to do Heaven. And we just all said, yeah, we are. This is the song that we were selling out 2 nights at the country club, unsigned artists, 1,000 people a night. Every person in there, girls were already crying to Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
They knew the words. Were like, we got to do this song for our fans. They've been there for us for all these years and sold out shows. If we don't put Heaven on there, they're going to kill us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So reluctantly, Bo agreed to put the song on there, and thank God. Because that song put us over the top.
The guitar song, when you first hear it, kind of that acoustic, it's got a really unique sound to it.
It's kind of
almost exactly what it is.
It might be mic placement or something like that in the studio, but it just fades in. And Janie, that's the way it started live. So maybe trying to capture a little bit of that vibe. I don't know. You'd have to ask Bo about his ideas in production, but that's my take on it.
Got a picture of your house.
Janie always played acoustic on that song live, and maybe a handful of others. Sad Teresa, we used to play a lot live. But yeah, so it just seemed real natural when we went into the studio that he would play all the acoustic guitar.
The guitar solo on that too is a face melter, man.
It's a fun one.
Fun to play on that.
I melted some faces a few gigs ago when I just jacked it up so bad. It's like a muscle memory thing after 20 or 30 years, right?
Man, sometimes alcohol's involved too.
I think I thought about it and I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
But it's a good, fun solo.
I remember there was 2 versions of Heaven, right? There's 2 versions because didn't they have you re-recorded or something when
there's a radio mix.
Yeah.
Like there's like a single mix, I think, and maybe
the first 250,000 copies I remember reading were like that.
Oh,
original.
you know what?
And
Maybe
then-
it was remastered.
Yeah.
It was,
I don't know.
Or something. I read
Honestly,
that.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I read that too, but I don't know.
Because I do remember distinctly hearing the different versions on
Really?
radio as a kid.
Maybe it was a shorter
I think it was a
solo.
mix.
Maybe it was a shorter
No,
guitar
it was
solo.
Well, I think even Janie's voice on one is "Come pretty one." He says that, and then on one he just sings it straight.
You want to come out and sing some backgrounds?
You're going deep, man. Damn.
And you're standing by the door, and you're standing by the door, and it's looking pretty warm, it's looking pretty warm.
Do you remember the inspiration behind the lyrics or anything like that?
Yeah,
Did
he
tell
wrote
you?
it before Warrant,
Yeah.
and we never sat down like we are and saying, "Hey, dude, who'd you write that about?"
Yeah,
You know, I never
yeah.
asked. He always insisted that all the songs he wrote were not true stories.
Yeah.
That he made them up. The only song that was a true story, he used to say, was "I Saw Red."
Yeah.
And then he would. What would he say every night when he? Do you remember? This is the only true song
Is that it?
I ever wrote, and I still hate this fucking bitch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He played drums, guitar, singing. He's a really talented guy, but I miss the guy that used to be my best friend. 30-some years ago. We all wish he was alive and healthy and doing what he should be doing. But as we all know, life can be very unfair at times.
Now the lights are going out along the boulevard.
I was showing my kids a couple weeks ago Heaven because I was trying to sing my little boy to sleep. He's got autism and music really works for him.
Very
wow.
cool.
I was singing Heaven. I turned it on Spotify and was singing it. And he's like, "Daddy, I love this song."
Oh, that's awesome.
And, you can think of Heaven as your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, but you can also take Heaven and think of your child. And
That's-
that music stays alive.
That's what's so good about music is that it means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
And so asking an author to some music, what'd you write that about? It's kind of pointless because you're probably going to find out it's not what you think.
I know.
You know what I mean? And that's why we're fans of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we're into this for. Is just that takes you to a place where nobody can fuck with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, music's magical. It really is, and it's a universal language. You don't have to understand the words to enjoy
so
something
true.
or to be moved by something or inspired by some music.
And thanks so much for watching. If you sign up for Patreon with us, you can get the mini documentary and story behind Warrant's classic song, Cherry Pie. We have many other things coming out for our patrons this week and the coming weeks. The link for Patreon is below. Now, leave us a comment about Warrant and this beautiful power ballad in the comments below. Tell us your memories that are tied to this song. You can also get Warrant's music and their merch by clicking on our Amazon links below. If you like our content, we invite you to join our community by subscribing to this channel below. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends. Stay safe.